What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. In the last video, we got the Evo sitting on the ground for the first time in forever. But in that process of doing that, a little issue may have arose that we weren't aware of previously. It kind of had me baffled at first, but this is my theory. All right, if you've been following along or you're just looking at it here now, you're thinking, oh, the car's on the ground, all the work looks to be done, but we have a potential big headache ahead of us. So when we were jacking the car up to get it off of the jack stands onto the wheel cribs to tighten the suspension bolts and all that kind of stuff, when we jacked it up, we developed a little bit of a fuel leak. And so over here on this side is where the leak was at, right here by the tire. And so on the Evo, if you're not familiar, there's like a hard pipe that goes down, and then there's a rubber hose that connects the fill neck and the gas tank. And so right here is about where that hose is at, give or take, you know, wherever, but in this general area. So it's leaking on this side. So I think that the hose is leaking at the gas tank because there was no leak the whole time. We've started the car up, we've done the first break-in process, we did all that kind of stuff, and there was no leak whatsoever. But whenever we jacked the car up and we moved it, I think this hose is just leaking, and it was sitting on top of the gas tank, and when we moved it, it was enough to like get it to come off, and it dripped off slowly. But my thought process was, we hadn't put gas in the car for like, I don't know, 5 days at the time. So I'm thinking, you know, gas to me evaporates pretty fast, but would it just sit up there on the tank? Would it be there just hanging out until I moved it and then it dripped off? Or had it evaporated and that's why it just dripped and not ran off because it was evaporating? I don't know, but that part on the car is extremely hard to get to. Almost impossible with everything on the car. So my big fear is we're gonna have to drop the gas tank, which means dropping the rear subframe down, all that kind of stuff, taking the drive line back off in the back to get the gas tank off. It's a big ordeal. Or my other thought was, it wasn't leaking and we just recently had to drop that gas tank down. Could that have done something as far as like causing a leak or whatever? It has to be either that or the clamp on that hose is just not tight enough and it's like dripping out slowly. So all that being said, long-windedly, I have a tool now that I think is going to help me resolve this issue without having to drop the tank. Well, I have a tool that will help me diagnose the issue without dropping the tank and then figuring out it wasn't that big a deal after all. So let me show you. We picked ourselves up an endoscope. So this thing has a nice big screen, HD quality. It has a 16-foot long hose with a camera on the end of it that has a light on it. So my idea was I'm gonna stick this thing up in the gas tank area there where the subframe is and just look around and see where or if I can find the leak, and that will tell me what's going on in there. Hopefully I can maneuver it around. It's very, very stiff, it's supposed to be, so we'll get it out of the box and see, but it's supposed to be very bendable and will stay where it's supposed to be. So let's get it out of the box, take a look at it, and see what we got going on. So as you can see, it's very bendable, and it does stay. It's very stiff. So this thing should be really nice to stick up in there and be able to like maneuver it around and see what I'm looking at here. Let's turn this thing on and see what we're looking at here. Doink. I will link this thing down below if you guys want to pick up one of these yourself. It wasn't that expensive, surprisingly, but yeah, here's looking at us. Hello. There's the little light that shines on it, and that should brighten up everything inside there being super dark and all that. And so let me put some gas in the car and we'll stick this thing up in there and we'll see what we're looking at here. It does have an SD card, so I'm gonna record it. So we'll see if it works out like I think it's going to. If it does, I'll put the actual footage onto the camera, but yeah, let's put some gas in the car. At the time, whenever I was doing this, I was so just annoyed and like a little discouraged that like we're right here, the car's on the ground, and then we develop this fuel leak. It's obviously like, it's not gonna drop on the exhaust or whatever. It's a very small like dribble, but I still just don't want the car to be leaking gas all the time. And so a little bit annoying, but I was like, you know what? It's what's happening. We gotta deal with it. We gotta keep moving forward. So if we gotta drop the tank, we gotta drop the tank. It's just what we have to do. So this is just the next step. And so yeah, it's all part of the process, I suppose. I'm putting more gas in here to hopefully replicate like the drip and getting like the leak to happen. So we won't put a bunch. We'll just put a little bit into here because I don't want to have like a bunch of gas in the tank because that would just mean more gas I had to drain out. And so we'll just put a little bit into here, see if we can get that leak to replicate and just go from there, I suppose. That should be plenty if you ask me. That's enough gas passing through there. So let's stick this camera up into there and see if we can see what's happening. So here we are. I'm looking up into there. Let me bend this a little bit. Right there is the fill. Yep. It looks wet around it. Let me bend it some more. So if you're looking right here, yeah, you can see it leaking right there. You see it flowing out? I'm guessing that clamp is just not tight. Or it was tight, and then when we moved it to drop the tank, that's what got it, but it's definitely just dripping right out of there. Once it gets focused on it there for a second, you can kind of see it. Yep, there it comes. You can see it running right out of the bottom of the hose. All right, well, I guess that means we gotta take this tank off of here. Man, that's the only thing I know to do to get to that clamp, because not only is the clamp hard to get to, but the tightening portion is up towards the top of the car. I don't know why I didn't do it on the bottom. I could have maybe gotten to it right here if the actual clamp tightening part was on this end. That's unfortunate. It's a good move. Oh boy. Well, that's all I know to do. We're gonna have to just snug it down. All right, well, that is unfortunate. So I guess we're gonna get this thing up onto the jack stand again, and we'll just have to start taking stuff off of here. That's all I know to do. That's all we can do. I don't really want the car to continue to leak gas. Could I take it and probably go for like the first 30-mile drive or whatever? Sure, but like I gotta take it off there eventually anyway, so why go through all that and then have to do it again anyway, when we could just do it now before we go on the first drive and just have it all taken care of. Okay, we're back out here in the garage, and I have just been thinking about this project because like I really don't want to do this and like take the tank back down, subframe, all that kind of stuff. If I have to, I have to, but I've been just trying to think of like another way to do it, how I can avoid taking it all down out of there. And so I've just been laying under the car and thinking and looking around, and I think I found two places where I can get a tool up into there and maybe get to that head on the clamp and tighten it. I don't have anything here, but I know they make like 90-degree ratchets and wrenches and stuff like that. So I'm gonna run to the store, pick up those tools, and then we'll see what we got. Again, I wish that clamp was flipped the other way. It'd be a lot easier, but it's not, so we gotta figure it out. So I'm gonna go grab those tools, we'll come back and give it a whirl. Okay, so here is my ratchet. This thing will bend like that. And if I can get up into there and then get a socket onto it, I think I can get that to rotate and do what I gotta do. I also got these guys. They also have that 90-degree bendability, and I think if I can get a tool up into there and get it onto this head, I can rotate it enough to get it tight. Let's crawl into the car, see what we can do. I think I can get right up into there with that tool, and then there's a spot on the side here. I can go up right here where the zip tie is. I can go up and over into there and get to that clamp as well from that spot. So it's gonna be super hard to show you guys as I'm doing it, but I'll set you over to the side and we'll see if we can get it on there. Okay, so I'm gonna shine my light on this end where I just put you guys. And I'm gonna stick this tool up into there. That's so close. If I can bend it a little bit more. Oh, it's got plenty of space to bend. Oh, I think it's on there. But can I rotate it? Ah, damn. Come on. It keeps like bending the wrench. I wish it would like stay and wasn't so flexible. I wish it had like clicking. It would like click into place, you know? Oh, that feels like it's on there. Oh, frig. Popped off when I tried to turn it. Oh, it's ratcheting. I'm not sure if you heard that or not, but it is ratcheting. We have it on the head of the clamp and it is doing what it needs to do. Okay, I think I can get this. I'm not sure if you can hear it ratcheting or not there, but I am rotating this thing and getting it tighter. Oh, I think I can do it. I'm gonna work on this, getting it tight, and then I'll jump back. Okay, I was able to get this thing turned quite a bit, actually. I mean, I tightened it, but I was a little worried about putting it too tight, but obviously I should have just clamped the thing down as tight as I could get it, but I have been able to tighten this thing down. Let's put some more gas in it, and we'll put our camera back up into there, We'll see if it still leaks out. If it does, then we'll try to tighten it some more. It's getting pretty hard because all I can tighten it with is like my fingertips. I'm barely like, it's hard to turn it under there, but if it still leaks out, we'll tighten it some more. But let's grab some gas and see what we can do here. Cross your fingers, but so far, it looks pretty promising. That should be plenty to try to get a drip. Come on, baby. I know you don't want to keep dripping. Coming in hot. Let's get this thing turned on. Put that up. I don't trust that over my head. Let's get this thing on. Let's get this thing up right here. And we watch. I'll cut the camera to the tank part here and we'll see. Just keeping an eye on it here. If you remember before, you could see it kind of running down. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just not seeing that little like flow of gas coming out that was there before. Let's try to go over this way, see what we see. I don't see anything there. Oh my God. I think, is that drippage right there? I can't tell if it's moving or if I'm just like seeing shit. It does not look like it did before, that's for sure. Let's try to go over on this side again, just to double check. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing that type of drip it had. Okay, I'm gonna work on tightening this thing a little bit more if I can. It can't hurt. And then I'll check it again with the camera thing and we'll jump back and let you know what's going on. But I think I may have gotten it without having to take this thing off of here. That would be, I can't even begin to tell you how good that will make me feel if that is the case. Good grief. Okay, you guys, so it's been a little bit. I put the camera up in there again, put some more gas in it, and yeah, it's not leaking anymore. I'm going to move forward with dropping the car down off the jack stands and whatnot, and we'll see if we get another drip. But from what I can tell with the camera right now, tightening up that clamp and we were able to do it, may have solved the fuel leak, which means we are wildly closer to our first drive than we were a little bit ago. So that's exciting. Okay, so this thing is sitting back down on the ground once again. I'm gonna start it up and I'm gonna let it run for a little bit and then we'll check under there. I still have it on like some wooden blocks right here, so it's a little bit up in the air so I can get that camera up into the tank. So I'm gonna start it up, let it get up to operating temperature. We'll put the camera up in there, see what the hose is doing, if anything, and then if it's not doing anything, we can call it good. I think that I want to move this thing just a little bit because there's still a lot of stuff I got to do as far as like checking it off before the first drive, and I wasn't going to do this today, but it's on the ground. I fixed all the leaks. I think there shouldn't be anything else, and so I kind of want to just like pull it forward, see if it moves under its own power, check the clutch, you know, feel, brakes, all that kind of stuff, the power steering, make sure it's not going to leak because it now has a load on it, so the car's on the ground. I've bled it and everything like that, but it's different being up in the air than it is sitting on the ground, I feel like, in my head. So I want to kind of turn the wheels a little bit, see what happens there, and just, you know, move it for the first time in a couple years under its own power. I think I'm going to move it. Yeah. Do what?
So I'm glad you fixed it.
No, I was so like just dreading that.
Yeah.
So after what, a couple years or more, it finally moved under its own power. It wasn't much, like I said, but I didn't want to do a whole lot there, but we did move it up a little bit, moved it around, kind of turned the wheels a little bit and all that, but it moved under its own power. I do need to fix that clutch. It is like almost immediate. My foot barely moves and it wants to like jump forward. So I got to adjust that clutch a little bit. I got to bleed the brakes again because they felt really soft. Like I had to pump those brakes to get them to feel anything. So I need to bleed those again. I want to tighten the e-brake as well because whenever I pull that, it like goes up like all the way. And I just feel like that wouldn't hold much, like not on flat ground like we are right here. And then what else did I write down over there when I got out of the car? Oh yeah, we got to fully torque down the lug nuts, but man, that's exciting. But I'm gonna go ahead and do all that like final buttoning up stuff on this thing before the first drive in a different video, because there's still one more very important thing we have to do before we can get the car out of the garage, and that is build a ramp at the top of the driveway to get it out of the driveway, because it is steep as a horse's face up there and the car will not make it out of the driveway. That is for dang sure. My little mini truck almost drags on it. My wife's BMW almost drags on it. It's very steep, but we got to make a ramp for all that. So we'll take care of the ramp, we'll get this thing buttoned up, and then we are that much closer to the first drive. I got to be honest with you guys. This video did not go how I thought it was going to go. I thought for sure that tank was coming down, the subframe was coming down, but I am super excited that that was taken care of without having to do all that, and we got that leak fixed. So cross our fingers, everything stays the same, and it is what it is right now. Nothing. And so yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much as always. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.